Hello, welcome to episode 91 of the Curios Cast. This week we discuss an old Curios topic, the Iranian man who didn't bathe. Tom showcases Wheel of Fugitive, and Rob discusses the many friends he has that have pissed the bed or in other household appliances.
Oh, we're back after another couple months.
Oh, man, we're turning into the old Curios Lawford days.
But we're back with some sad news, aren't we, George?
Yeah, speaking of Lawford days, because I think this news harks back to the golden days of the Curios Cast when Paul Lawford was still... I think it was one of the early episodes.
There might be a reason why Rob doesn't remember it, and that's because I don't think he was on the episode. I'm pretty sure it was an episode that I filled in for when Rob couldn't make it. But yeah, why don't you let everyone know what's going on, George?
Well, if you are wearing a hat, I ask you now to doff thy hat, because the world's dirtiest man, Amu Haji, has died in Iran at 94, a few months after his first wash. So I don't know if people...
Oh, no, he washed. I didn't read the article. Fuck.
Yeah, he had a wash. It's like the local population basically told him to have a wash, and then he's died a few months after.
Savage. I do remember this guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So he was like a hermit that became known as the world's dirtiest man because he didn't take a shower for over half a century, and he used to smoke animal dung in a pipe.
I see, yeah, I remember, yeah.
He just used to like live in this weird little like shack made of just bits of metal and stuff. He'd eat roadkill, smoke a pipe with animal poo in it, and he believed that cleanliness would make him ill. It was a big part of his thing. I'm just not washing because I'm healthy. And eventually, villagers persuaded him to wash for the first time, and then he's passed away just mere months after taking his first wash. I mean, he was 94, so he had a good innings regardless. But so unfortunately, we have to start this episode off with some sadness, a bit of remembrance for our...
Also, will he all need to stop washing by that reckoning?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can give that a go if you want.
He lived long and then killed him.
Yeah,
washing
I'm
killed
with
him.
Rob here. Like, he how long did he not wash for? It said something ridiculous.
Over more than half a century. So,
yeah, and he lived to
over 60
91,
years,
right?
it says. 94.
94, didn't wash for 60 years, and he was healthy as can be. We'll get a picture of him up on the screen. Picture of health, this guy. And then he has a wash. Why did he wash? Does it say anything about why?
The villagers forced him. The local villagers forced him to take a wash.
That's basically a lynching.
Manslaughter.
I mean, to be fair, he looks like just how people used to look, 200 years ago, outside of major civilization. People didn't used to wash
200 years ago. I don't know if you...
Well, no, because people
slightly longer than that.
were people still living like that within the last century. But when people were just, especially in Iran, where he's from, people did just live in the mountains, very very minimal lifestyles. Probably didn't wash, if ever. He's taking it to the extreme because you could definitely just have a little sprinkle in a river or something.
I don't know if they smoked shit.
Yeah,
everyone smokes shit, Tom. Rob's smoking shit now.
Yeah, I think he just slept on the floor as well. Like, he didn't even go off to under a tree or a cave or anything. He just slept on like the dirt. Like, he just slept out in the open, which
he had like
such a survival instinct.
Well, no, because he had such like a layer of grime on him that the water just flowed off like a duck's back. So he could just lay there.
Of course.
And the water just...
I'm more thinking about like the cold and the heat and like... Don't you just... If you were sleeping out in nature, you're out in Iran and you need to find somewhere to sleep, you'd go to a corner or even just up against a rock. You'd put your back up against something or like under a tree. You wouldn't just be out in the open. Like, sleeping just out in the open, it's not natural.
It's weird, isn't it?
I don't think there's any animal that does that because it's not safe.
Horses?
Because we make them. I reckon wild horses wouldn't just lay down in the field.
The horses in a
domesticated horses do.
The horses in this is the closest as I can get to it with in the UK, but in the New Forest, they're sort of semi-wild. Like they're allowed to just roam where they like within the New Forest.
Mm-hmm.
And they just, I mean, I was also wondering, do horses even lie down to sleep? Because you see a lot of them, for a while, they just go like they just stand like super still for a bit. And like, is that their sleep? Is that
like
their
they
rest?
They're not sleeping, but they're resting.
But they're in a restful state, yeah. And then like every now and then you might see one lie down. But like it's super weird to see a horse lie down. You're like,
I always think you always
think, you always think, is that horse all right? Like it's weird to see a horse lie down.
Do they lay down like on their side, or do they sort of like lay on their belly? You know,
no, they flat out
in front of them.
No, they flat out lay down on their side.
Oh, okay.
Like cows. What about cows?
Oh, I think
cows sit with the hooves under them, don't they? You see cows sitting when it's going to rain.
What? Is that like a sure sign of rain?
As if you ain't heard that. I think
that is a thing, yeah.
That's the thing. If all the cows are sitting down, it means it's going to rain.
I've heard it. I don't know if it's true.
I think it's like mostly true. It's like they like their grass dry, maybe. So they like so they cover it. That's what I've always thought. Yeah, they're like, they feel it coming, so I'll just sit on this bit and I'll eat this bit in a minute.
Maybe that's it.
Like deer, didn't they? They lay down with their like head in the. They can curl their head back though, can't they?
They do like
I think everything lays down. Most.
No, I'm sure Rob's right. I don't think
horses don't sleep lying down. They do lie down, but I don't think they sleep lying down.
Fish don't lie down when they sleep.
They're always lying down. I looked it up, what episode it was. It was actually the first episode of the Curios Cast revival. So it was the first episode that I was on as a host. It was episode 10.
So it wasn't back in Lawford's time.
No.
Not quite. Thank God.
So it would have been like, in the studio.
Sorry, I've just got some more submissions for my thing I was going to talk about today.
You're getting live submissions for your topic.
I am getting live submissions,
wow.
It's excellent.
Do you want to go first?
I get. Well, I'll go in a minute because I might get more. More submissions might come in. Yeah.
One other thing, I don't know. I saw this story as well, and I've definitely seen this story before, but I can't remember if it was one that we spoke about on the podcast or not. It might have been one that I found and then decided not to have it. Did we ever talk about the Iranian woman that made herself look like a zombie Angelina Jolie?
I don't think so. No, I don't.
I reckon you'll recognise the face if I put it in the WhatsApp.
Well, of course we will, because it'll be Angelina Jolie.
Well, not quite. But
it does look like a zombie Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, but however,
well, this is what she made herself just look like in every day.
Yeah, but however, it's come out now. She's admitted that it was partly computer trickery. So if we did speak about it, which I'm pretty sure we maybe briefly discussed it a long time ago. I
don't think so.
I'm afraid that was a false. That was fake news on the Curios Cast, and that might be the first time it's ever happened.
Yeah, definitely. So, first time that's ever.
So I just want to apologise on behalf of Tom, Rob, myself, and also Sahar Tabar.
It's our first retraction, I think.
Official, yeah.
I'm retracting that.
What did she go to prison for?
For making herself look like a zombie Angelina Jolie.
Fuck, I don't know if you've scrolled down to the part where it tells you how old this woman is. How old do you think this person is?
She's very young, right? Or is she very old?
What do you think?
I think she's like 21. Like surprisingly young, I reckon.
Rob?
22, because I just read it.
Okay. Okay, I would...
Yeah, that is, but I mean, I didn't have a clue how old she's supposed to be. She looked like a zombie, so.
Oh wait, it says 21-year-old, and then it also says 22-year-old at a different.
Shocking! The journalism is slightly off on this. It's unusual, isn't it?
Wait, she's dead.
What?
Am I?
Well, she's a zombie, isn't she? So she's reanimated.
Hold on.
She can't be dead. She just come out of prison.
Has this article just slipped into another article? It says the very last line, or near the bottom, the 22-year-old's death caused Oh no, this is about the
that's about
anti-hijab
the rain.
thing.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why does that come into it? Okay.
And she spoke.
She's 21 then.
I think she's spoken out.
Okay. Fair enough.
Oh, she
showed her real face in an interview, and she doesn't look anything like a zombie Angelina Jolie.
No, she still looks weird though.
She looks a little odd, yeah. A little odd.
She doesn't look. I mean, she looks so normal
in comparison to
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was a update, but it was certainly a retraction of news. We renounced that story from the Curios Cast.
Nice.
All the
Any
others
more Iranians you want to talk about?
But yeah, well, 2 Iranian updates there. I don't think so. No.
Cool.
I think I'm.
Any more Iranians?
I'm trying to find their Instagram, but they're not like linking it or anything.
Well, hasn't everything been shut down in Iran? Probably can't even access.
I don't know.
Was that no? It wouldn't work like that, would it?
No.
Just within Iran.
Not like a block on anything from
I was just wondering
within.
whether the accounts would get closed down as well, but they wouldn't be able to do that because it's not based in Iran.
Depends where they're hosted. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, in lighter news, why don't you crack on with one of your topics, Rob?
Yeah,
are you still collating them?
But no, I've got one we can talk about here, yeah. So, I was going to start off by talking about this article, which the article itself is dog shit. But it'd lead us on to talk about some real life happenings surrounding that might, I mean, I guess this is also a real life happening, but...
Is it ghosties and ghoulies?
It's not ghosties and ghoulies, no. It's not ghosties and ghoulies. Can't get this one to fuck out.
The zombie topic's a little bit relevant. We are recording this on Halloween weekend.
Yeah.
Hope you all had a happy Halloween.
Yeah, I won't be dressing up as Lynn this time.
Right, here we go. Look. So, I mean, I only really read the title of this, funnily enough, but it's all I needed to get the conversation going with my with my mates. But so the title is "Wet Dreams." My partner regularly wheezes in our bed because of his drinking habits. Right, so, I mean, I'll read the article now, but it's not really the point. Dear Deirdre, every time he drinks, my partner wets the bed and I wake up in urine-drenched sheets. When I talk to him about it, he isn't embarrassed or upset. He just blames the alcohol. But I know this isn't normal for a man of 45 to do this regularly. It's clear he has a drinking problem, although he denies it. I'm 40 and at the end of my tether. I'm not sure how much longer I can stay in our relationship. He's been getting drunk 3 or 4 times a week for the past 9 months. I've started dreading being in the same bed as him. I know I'll have to change the sheets in the middle of the night. Right, that gets quite bleak, doesn't it? Deirdre says alcohol is a diuretic, which increases the need to urinate. If you also suppress a hormone that stops us peeing while asleep, you're right. It's not normal for a man of his age to wet the bed regularly. Urge him to see his GP soon. My support back, problem drinking in the family should also help, right?
Did you just say surgeon see GP soon? That's got to be a joke, isn't it?
Urge him to see his GP soon.
Yeah, that was his name. I was like, he's on brand.
No, yeah. I mean, obviously that did get a bit bleak, but my friend's stories are not as bleak as this. But so yeah, man pissed in the bed, and I thought I know people that have pissed the bed, so I thought I was like, come on, guys, after this story, because my mate shared that in the group chat anyway, obviously for good reason, because there are a lot of urine and fecal stories from my friends. Some of them I'm pretty sure already told on here. I must have done.
I was going to say, I'm sure that we discussed one of your friends we in the bed or something.
He
or
pissed on like a chair or something.
Pissed in an oven.
Like a wicker. There was something wicker involved.
Oh yeah,
shit on the chair.
There was shit on the chair in the sewing room. Yeah, I forgot about that one. I wasn't even thinking that. But have I spoken about pissing in the oven?
Yeah, pissing in the oven.
Yeah. So like this isn't one of them. This is new ones. But yeah, like that's what my friends are about. They're still flooding in. The chat is on fire since I spoke about this. It hasn't stopped. I've got 20 messages I haven't managed to read yet. All right. But basically, it started off slow as well. I asked the question and I was like, obviously I won't use your names, but like, I was like, full disclosure, this is going on the podcast. I was like, I won't use any of your names. And then only one person said something. It was a bit of a wet story. Wet. pun intended.
Whee!
But and no one else said anything. I thought, oh, maybe they don't want to be on it, but then they just came flooding. I think they like got each other going because the first guy that spoke also added some more. But he was just like, oh, he first said, I pissed the bed at uni a few times, nothing really special, just woke up, hoped there's a glass of water, looked in despair as I see a full pint of water on my bedside table still, and then changed bedding and washed piss-soaked bedding. It's like not much to work with there, but he's come back with some more later. He obviously got fired up. But this is fucking great. I almost just instantly said his name. My mate Paul, surname Skinbark. That's what he wanted to be announced as. This actually made me laugh out loud earlier. He said, I pissed the bed 8 times in one calendar year. And his missus made him buy a new mattress each time as a bit of a deterrent.
New mattress.
It cost me £3,200 in 1 year on mattresses. Fucking hell, it's unreal. That is such a lot of money.
That is funny.
I mean, he's getting a pretty good deal on mattresses, actually.
Well, yeah.
Because mattresses are expensive. What's that?
I mean, it's like 400 and something.
Okay, right, yeah. Maybe that's like a sort of... It's a good price on like a Casper mattress. He must be going to IKEA or something, mustn't he, by that point? You give up on the Caspers and your expensive brands after 2 or 3 of those in a year, surely.
Yeah,
it's not much of a deterrent, is it? Because
one.
Like, obviously he's pissing when he's, well, I don't know, maybe you're going to continue, but like obviously when you're asleep, you're not in control of your body, are you?
Yeah, he is smashed. He is smashed when he does this.
Yeah, the fact, well, I guess maybe it's a deterrent to stop getting so pissed, but...
Yeah, or like sleep in the fucking... somewhere else
room,
when you levers and you think you might piss the bed, yeah.
I wonder if she made him buy the mattress after the first time, because I feel like if I pissed the bed, and I haven't pissed the bed as an adult yet, but I feel like Rosie would be a bit sympathetic. Like, oh my God, like what's wrong? Like, are you okay? And like, she wouldn't make me buy a new mattress, I think. But if I made it a repeat occurrence, then of course that's when that conversation happens. But how many times before you're made to buy a mattress?
Yeah, well, this is 8 times in one calendar year. This is not the 8 times only he's ever done it.
Yeah.
Like, he does it regularly.
I like that he specifies calendar year as well.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking fiscal year. Like, that'd be a better way if you're...
He's writing off the mattresses on for tax reasons.
He fucking might have been.
It's like his accountant said, you need to, chuck get rid of some of this money, start pissing the bed again.
He gets a call from HMRC, like, what is this? Money laundering.
Yeah, I think also, I like the way you said, like, because I do, man, I dream about pissing all the time. And I think that is dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, regularly in my dreams, I'm like pissing and it's not satisfying. Because obviously I'm not pissing.
Yeah.
And I think that one day I dream and it's satisfying the dream, I'm going to be like, fuck.
Yeah, the other night, I obviously needed a piss. And I was dreaming that I was pissing in like a urinal or something. And then... I kind of woke up and I went, oh, fuck it, I'll go back to sleep. Went back to sleep. I had another dream I was pissing. Same thing again. I had another dream I was pissing. And each time it was a different scenario. I was at work and then I was like in a cubicle and then I was here. I was outside at one point pissing. And my brain was obviously just trying to wake me up and tell me to piss. And I think it's so clever that the brain can imagine itself pissing but still hold back the piss.
Yeah, that's wild, isn't it? That is
so
wild.
Clever.
Yeah.
It's like
that is
two
clever.
completely different parts of the brain are obviously working not together. Like there's a part of your brain that's like, oh, when I need to piss, I get my cock out and piss. Well, cock and balls out and piss. And then there's another part of your brain that's like, no, hold it in. This ain't real. Yeah. Like your brain knows it's not real.
Yeah, that is clever.
Yeah, but surely, because you are your brain, right? Why do you not just wake up? Why has the brain got to go through this whole like...
Yeah, trickery. That's true.
It's just like
deception.
The brain doesn't know. I think it's like when you're dreaming, your brain doesn't know it's a dream. So that's like when you wake up, for a moment you still have like the same.
You are your brain.
Emotions.
It's not like you're inside your head and then your brain's also there. Like
no, your brain is controlling you.
Yeah, so that's what George said. Why does your brain have to go right? What I'll do is I'll dream a dream about pissing. Why don't your brain just go? Get up.
I don't think it's doing that. It's not trying to trick you. It's not saying, how am I going to wake him up? I'm going to make him think he's pissing. But I think what your brain's just doing is like over 20, 30 years of you going to the toilet and pissing when you feel that feeling, your brain just starts imagining it and doing it.
But you are your brain, so surely this is what annoys me, right? You know, like if you you have a
but you're not in control of it.
Yeah, but you should be because it's you.
But you're not.
Isn't it? You know, but
it's your subconscious because your subconscious is not your conscious.
No one understands, George.
That's stupid. I reckon there's something going on. I reckon it's like numbskulls.
There's something going on.
Yeah. Like numbskulls. Do you ever read that?
They've changed topic now slightly.
No, I don't know that. I thought that was
you read
just
that, Rob?
Word for
numbskulls. No, I don't.
It was in like the Beano. It was like each bit of your head. There was like a little.
I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. Okay, from the bit. Yeah,
so it'd be like someone doing your liver, someone in the brain.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Like, and what it is
Should we see if there's one in here?
Like on
you
SpongeBob.
keep going. I'll see if there's one in my
got a Beano
episode from 1993.
Whoa, year of my birth.
Guess how much?
15p.
30p.
Ah,
close.
What 30p 2020 money or 30p 1993 money?
Because that's a thing now. They have to think about it. Is it? What?
Yeah.
No, worth how much? No money.
Well, yeah, fucking these trusses out of the way, son.
Danny's. There's something that I don't even remember. Danny's nanny.
let's get back to your mate's pissing stories.
Hey, my mate's piss. Yeah.
Sorry. Tom's bored of numbskulls.
I'll find them later anyway.
Anyway, I think that is a little battle of wits between the little man and your brain, the little man and your bladder. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Clever stuff, brain. Well done. I've got to scroll back to where I was. All right. So the next thing he did, right, it gets fucking worse than that as well. So he said, I've got to try and like skim through some specifics here because that obviously narrows it down. The night after, yada, yada, I had a shift. So I had a shift on Sunday morning, got in at 6 a.m. Was absolutely twisted. Woke up at 5:15. I guess that means PM. If the shift was, shift was at 6 a.m. Well, obviously woke up early for a shift. Oh, in work at 6 a.m. Sorry, I thought that was I got in at 6 a.m.
Oh, you're quite a raconteur. You are.
No, because I'm trying to skim out bits that are like important, the giveaway rather as to who he is. The night after an event, supposed to be in work at 6 a.m. There you go. Woke up twisted. Was absolutely twisted. Woke up at 5:15 on a strip mattress with no covers. His missus was downstairs on the couch. He'd pissed the bed and all over her.
Oh.
And another time, his missus was away on a hen do. They just had the kitchen redone. So it's just funny that this isn't the same pissing in the oven guy. Different guy. I never knew this. Was out most weekend on the lash, basically. Got back Monday and thought he'd have a tidy up. Cleaned everywhere, and then he was like, but there was this smell which was outrageous. He said it smelled like sweet burnt plastic. I looked everywhere. After a few hours, I just gave up. Mrs. got home at 7 p.m. from the hen do, walked straight in and instantly nearly puked from the smell. She went ballistic. I said I couldn't find it anywhere. She walked straight over to the new cooker, and where the gas hob was, it's like, you know, you can imagine a gas hob there looking for recess. It was black and he'd pissed all over it, full to the brim. So yeah, it absolutely stunk. He said it fucked the ignition for about 6 months on it too. So he sent a picture of the sort of oven so you can picture it. What he means, yeah. Like when he said it was black, sorry, the hob was black, so he couldn't tell that he'd pissed on it because he'd brimmed it full to the brim, and it was level. Yeah, he couldn't tell what was piss and what.
So the piss was still in there.
The piss was still in there. He didn't find it to clean it up.
That's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. And this isn't the same as the oven.
These are unrelated oven pissing stories. Yeah,
but it's not the same guy. Not the same guy. Not the same guy.
Not the same guy. Not the same two guys. I know two people other than this that have pissed in ovens. Have I not told the second one? I told the one about me mate, and he nicked dick between his legs, pissing backwards. That was the first one who pissed in the oven.
I don't think that.
No, I don't think it was. I think it was the first one. I think the first one he was like sleepwalking or something, like half asleep.
Yeah, he was sleepwalking.
Yeah, but he was pissing between
Yeah, I walked in on him in the kitchen. Oh, I heard all this racket because we were sleeping downstairs. I heard all like this banging. Apologies to anyone if I've told this before, right? But yeah, so there was like, and the best thing was right about this whole thing is it was one of my mates.
To the best bit, yeah, George.
Well, it was one of my mates from uni's house who was letting his brother stay there at the time, who was also our mate from uni. Like we were friends with both of them, but so it was his brother who was staying there for a while. He was staying there for like an extended period. Actually, he eventually lived there. At this point, he didn't live there. He was just staying there. And then the guy's house it was away. It was that, and it was like a flat share, a few people there. But the guy who we knew his house it wasn't even there. And then, fuck's sake, beep, had invited us over. So we were like, in fact, my friend, so then my other friend that I brought, so he was that many people, like 4 people removed from the person whose house it was, if you know what I mean.
Right, yeah.
And then he fucking did this, which makes it so much worse.
A stranger just pisses you
off. Yeah. But, I mean, he had met him. He did kind of know who he was, but still. And I woke up in the middle of the night to like this banging, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, we should be had a skinful. And I went and... went and found him and went into the kitchen, and he was just there with the oven door, like, you know, like you can put the door out and you can like rest the grill pan on it. Yeah. Like a completely flat door. The door was completely flat and the grill pan was rested on it. And then he was like squatted over it, dick between his legs, like he was pissing in a toilet, but stood up, but like sat down, but not sat down, like sat down on a fictional toilet, which doesn't make any sense. Like, because he wasn't sat on anything. He was like hovering like that.
He was just squatting over it.
Just squatting over it like on a fictional toilet, but it was above the grill pan and was pissing into the grill pan through his legs. And I just looked and was just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what the fuck?
When you first said he was pissing through his legs, I was picturing him just standing up still, but then just like bending backwards. Takes his dick back and just pissing backwards.
No, it was like squatting on an imaginary toilet is the best way. Yeah, and then fucking, obviously I grabbed that and chucked it out and texted the mate who was there and was like, what the fuck? Like, what are we going to... And he sort of got up and was like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, and we woke up early and just basically was like, I was punching him awake. I was going, you get up, you cunt. And he was going like, what are you fucking doing? What are you fucking doing? I was going, you pissed in the oven. He was going, no, I fucking didn't. I was going, you fucking pissed in the oven. I was going, no, I don't.
Imagine being woken up like that.
I know.
So someone saying you pissed in the oven.
I know. And he was going, I don't piss in ovens. He was going, you fucking do. Because I saw it and it was shit. And we had to like, I'd put like the grill pan outside at night after we'd done it. We have to deal with that in the morning, but I can't leave that in there in case someone else in the flat comes down, you know. And he went and bought a load of cleaning stuff and like cleaned it and stuff. But the housemates took it remarkably well. It was crazy. He my mate texted his brother who just replied, "That's not funny," which is correct. It's not funny, but it is funny. And there was a girl who lived there, and she was just like, "Oh," sort of laughed it off, and like she ended up like she cleaned it as well afterwards. Like didn't trust his cleaning of it. He had cleaned and he had bought a load of cleaning stuff. Yeah, mental. But then another one of my friends did it since then, which is so bizarre. Round our other friend's house, whose wife was like 7 months pregnant at the time, and he'd been out on the piss with like my mate, and he was asleep on the sofa, and because they were nearly having a kid, my mate had been testing out the like kid cameras that you have, monitor things. He bought some like monitor things, and he was testing it out, so it just happened to be up. So it was basically like CCTV of this incident, which is great. And he'd got up and he'd left the room, and then they found piss all over the fucking oven, in the oven, and over like all the pots and pans and stuff the next day. Brand new. This was a new oven as well. By the way, 2 new ovens took the brunt of this. This was also a new oven, new pans and shit as well. And but then like what you couldn't see that in the camera. What you saw was him like obviously get up, disappear in the kitchen for a while, and then he comes back and he like. It's like he must have kind of in his head knew he'd done it wrong, because he like grabs his sheet that he'd been sleeping with, and you see him luzzed out on the floor, and then you see in the camera him like cleaning the floor with this sheet, like with his foot, like drunkenly, and then he picks the sheet up, lies down, and puts it back on him and goes to sleep. And it was just, all on CCTV.
Do these two oven pissing friends know each other?
Yes, and the second one of which very much knows the story. It was like, you know, knows the famous initial oven story, and then still did that. And we were like, you did it on purpose. Like,
so how many different people do you know that have weed in ovens?
3.
So that's 3 different people.
And the first story I told on this, that I learned that today. I didn't know that information. He's kept that quiet because we always talk about the other one, and he's never, and not like every time we talk about that, he's brought it up and gone, yeah, I've done that. But he's had loads. He also said, I pissed in the cat litter tray, which is a good one.
That ain't as bad.
As bad. If at any place, yeah. I pissed in the new sofa. The new sofa puff the day we got it.
Unbelievable.
The day we got it.
In it or on it?
on it, I guess. You know, like a footstool thing.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was like a lift up one.
Yeah, I know. I instantly lifted it up when I was with my hand.
I couldn't deal with that. Imagine being his wife.
I know, it's deep, isn't it? Yeah. Pissed at his mates, second mates, his parents, sister, and other mates. Then I've got another one. No, that's not it, right? This is the oven pisser, right? Another thing that the oven pisser did is he pissed in his girlfriend at the time's mum's underwear drawer. And apparently, I think, he turned her bedroom light on, I guess after pissing, I think, like, thinking he was turning the light off, I guess. And he's there naked over her drawers, having pissed in them. I always like to think in this story, he had a boner and he's maybe lying about the pissing.
Just to
or he
make
did
it
piss,
less.
or then he got a boner, and she freaked out because he had a boner. But I mean, you would just freak out if he was naked and pissed in your drawers, really, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But like the best thing about that was, as defence, his girlfriend had to use the pissing in the oven story as defence. I was like, that's the one and only time you're going to use that story as a defence of your character.
Do you reckon he would stand up in a court of law?
Yeah, well, she had to be like he, like to basically be like, he's not a pervert in your room naked. Like, he had to be like, let me tell you this other story about him doing this weird thing, so you believe that he's not just some weird naked pervert man. So yeah, pissed in an oven, defence, and that's not even my final one. My final one, there's loads, mate. The mummy's ridiculous. There's loads of these. Another one, I'll just read it out as he read it out. I pissed in a girl's underwear drawer, then walked next door and pissed on the TV and the resident boyfriend's DVD collection.
Oh, no.
When everyone started shouting at me to stop, I got into bed with someone who wasn't my girlfriend and tried to spoon her. It was just like another blonde girl. Woke up to 10 people staring at me and 2 laughing, 2 shouting, 6 not knowing what they were doing, looking at me in bed with someone who wasn't my girlfriend. Thought that was what they were shouting at me about. And he's like, I only realised what had happened when one of the shouters told them the scenario. All quite embarrassing.
Unbelievable.
I remember him telling this before, and he said it took him a second to realise that he, like, initially while they were shouting at him, and he's thinking like, what are you all doing? I'm just in bed with my girlfriend. And then he realises it's not his girlfriend for starters, and he's like, right, that's why they're shouting at me. And then he's like, no, they're shouting because I've just pissed everywhere. As well as then doing this.
Well, that's quite impressive that he stopped pissing and then went and started pissing again.
Yeah, that's what I never even thought that. That's weird, isn't it?
I just asked Lynn.
Why did he do that?
I just asked Lynn what she would do if I did a wee in the bed.
I asked the same question.
Oh, yeah? What, to Lynn?
Yeah.
She says, so first of all, I said, what would you do if I did a wee in the bed drunk? And she said, I'd get very angry and sleep on the sofa and tell you to clean the bed yourself and hope you have a big hangover, which is very, it's quite standard, I guess. Yeah. And I said, what if I did it 8 times in a year? Didn't specify if it was a calendar year or a fiscal year.
It's important.
But she just said, I probably wouldn't be with you anymore. So I don't think my relationship can survive.
He's got very forgiving.
Considering he's also pissed on the sofa. Yeah, and where else did you say?
Loads.
Their house must stink.
The new puff. Yeah. The oven. This was the oven. The oven and the bed guy were the same guy. Yeah.
That's just unbelievable.
Oven guy number 3.
So I asked Rosie and said, if I pissed the bed, would you make me buy a new mattress? And then she said, depends on how much piss it was. My bed or yours? I said, hypothetically, our bed. And then she said, maybe if you did it by accident, it would be okay. Like if you were unwell. I said, what if I was drunk? She said, if it was because you was drunk, I'd be annoyed. I wouldn't make you buy a new one. Just make you pay for one of those people to come and clean it with a machine. Which would probably cost about the same as a mattress, maybe. They're probably not cheap. I don't know.
What, how much can it be? Like hourly? It's not going to take them an hour, is it? Even if it does an hour, 50 quid an hour is a lot.
Just rent one of those machines.
Yeah, true. No, you need a professional to do it. I had a mate.
You have to pay for, yeah.
I'll find out and see if I'm allowed to share the photo on the podcast. But this is when we were maybe like 17, 18, and we was round a friend's house drinking, and one friend got really drunk and he was like, I need to go to bed. So he went up to lay down in a bed, and he was laying in the the guy whose house it was, he was laying in his mum's bed and he just threw up everywhere. And like, if I show you, I'll show you the photo of the sick.
So he was lying in his own mum's bed.
No, he threw up in a mate's mum's bed.
Right, savage.
Savage. Yeah, and the amount of sick was fucking awful. And then, I got the photo.
I've been sick inside a few times from being drunk. I've done that. Like, I've not been able to make it to.
Like, in the bed.
Once I did it in my bedroom. I did it just like on the floor, like because I used to have a lock on my door. Oh, that's grim. That's awful. I hate that.
Oh my God.
I had to get off that.
That looks like someone's.
What was he drinking? Yeah, like fucking
a tin of beans next to him.
Yeah, it looks dark colour. Yeah, was he drinking like fucking something red?
Probably Strongbow, yeah, like dark fruits or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that who I think it is as well?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Do you know that person there?
I know. Yeah, I'll say I know one of the people in the picture.
George has met one of them. Yeah.
That's
but the next morning, we're like, oh, how are we going to clean this? Whatever. Obviously, I'm not involved, but it was them two cleaning it. And then the guy whose house it was, he just went and got some Febreze, sprayed it with Febreze, flipped the mattress. So that'll do. That'll be good enough. And I think it may be because his mum was on holiday. And
that's grim.
I remember like a month or two later, I asked him, I said, your mum's obviously back from holiday now. Did you tell her about the sick? Or like, how did she find out? He said, no, she still hasn't found out yet. So she was sleeping on the other side of this pukey mattress.
She must have done eventually, because she must have flipped it at some point.
Yeah, but how often do you flip your mattress?
Yeah.
Might go quite a while.
Yeah. Did it like stain? Was there a stain on the...
Must have been a stain, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was... Yeah, it was stained. I mean, we didn't scrub it, so we don't know how much it stained. He just sprayed it with Febreze and thought
literally just did nothing.
He'd obviously seen those Febreze adverts where it just like fights off all the germs, and he just
that must have started smelling again soon. Like, it must have done. The Febreze smell would have just worn off, and then it would have smelled again.
Yeah.
Did he? And imagine the windows not being open for a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's grim.
Oh. Yeah. Put me right off me tea.
Yeah. Well, I remember once so a couple of times I did it. I was sick in my bedroom and I just couldn't get, like, I had a lock on it and I guess I was so smashed, like, woke up in the middle of the night, needing to be sick, didn't manage to open the lock in time and just threw up all over the floor.
Why did you used to lock yourself in?
I don't know. I can't, like, shortly after that I would have stopped. No, I know what it was. It was because the door didn't shut properly. It only shut if you lock it. So I didn't want it kind of open and like it would bang in the wind. So I'd lock it. That was why.
Yeah, that famous wind that blows through people's houses.
Yeah, like wind, you know.
Yeah, I get you mean. It's just funny. The concept of living in like Tornado Alley.
No, why is it's just like you have a door slightly ajar and there's like a breeze. It like knocks something. That's not an unusual phenomena. Is it?
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It just amused me.
All right.
The image of you.
Rob's definitely a windows open kind of guy. So
it's true.
Of course there's going to be a breeze running through.
It's true.
Especially if you have a window or a door upstairs open and then another one downstairs. Like, open the back door and then a window upstairs. It's fucking...
madness.
Crazy.
Absolute madness.
Never doing that again.
Yeah, and also I threw up in my girlfriend's bedroom once, a girlfriend at the time, and then like it was like a parents' house. I like opened the window and was like a little bit sick, just like out onto like what was there. The back window basically went to like the backwards fucking garden.
I don't think.
And I was sick. I was sick out the window. Actually, I've been sick out the window more than once. I was sick out the window in my own place once because my mate was passed out in my toilet because he'd been sick in there, and I couldn't get in there to be sick, so I just had to be sick out my window.
Yeah, I stick out my bedroom window at my parents' house, and there's like a sloped roof like down from that second floor. So I was sick out the window, and then woke up in the morning, couldn't really remember I'd been sick, and then sort of was pottering around the garden, looked up at the house, and it was just sick all the way down the top of the roof, and so I had to like then go and like get some water and try and get it to come off. Horrible, horrid.
Bit like Breaking Bad pizza, but
after the first time I went to stay at Lynn's parents' house, so the first time I met her parents, I went out with her. Well, we went out with her brother, and I got too drunk, and I was sick when we got back to the house. But before being sick,
Good first entry in it.
I was just completely out of it. Didn't really know where I was going. Got to the second floor, tried to find the bathroom. Forgot what door. It was like 1 a.m. Forgot what door the bathroom was. So I just chose a door, fell through the door, and it was her parents' bedroom.
Oh no!
So I was just on the floor, and someone said hello. And I just rolled out.
This is a great first impression. What the fuck?
But then went to bed and I was just sick. Lynn gave me her bin to be sick in, but the bottom of the bin was there was no bottom to it. So it was just like coming out on the floor and going into between her floorboards and shit.
What do you mean there's no bottom? It was like a wicker bin or something?
Tube.
It's just like one of those
tube.
plastic bins, but there was just a hole in the bottom of it.
So it wasn't like there was no bottom, but it just wasn't.
No, it was
completely
like
solid. Yeah.
That's what they have in Holland, just like a rubbish tube, man. You just put your rubbish.
Obviously, you're supposed to put a bag in there, like a bin bag, but there was no bin bag in there, a bin liner. So it just came out, went in between the floorboards and stuff. It's great.
It's grim.
Yeah, and then the next morning, I met her grandmother for the first time, and I was just laying on the sofa, just really hungover. It was terrible. Not a great first impression.
No, yeah, really good.
I don't think I've ever been sick in somewhere like
unfamiliar.
You've done all right then.
Yeah. I was sick on a ride in Southend, like Adventure Island or whatever it's called.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Being sick at Adventure Island.
Shut down the ride for a little bit while I had to clean it and stuff.
Did it?
But that was about it.
I was thinking, my mate was sharing a tent with me at a festival once.
Oh, come on.
And we did this, and we got so fucking. Obviously, we got gattered, and I got pissed to the point. We used to do this thing where I used to call it a yardie. It was like a yard of ale thing, but it wasn't really. It wasn't a true yard. It was like a mini one of those. Really, it would fit like a can. It was for a can. Really, a can would be like a full one of them. But there was like you could bulb to seal it though. If you poured another can in, that was like you're going bulb to seal. But like one can, we'd be drinking those, right? And if you drink one, it was like it's like all of us had to then drink one. And if you didn't, you were one YBH. You were like one yardie behind. And then you're like, you're two YBH. It'd be going on. There was like 3 or 4 of us doing this, but you're one YBH, you're 2 YBH. Come on, but like stupid like bravado drinking. And so I was just about keeping up with it most of the day. And then at the end of the night, it like, when you sort of you hit a point, you think you're immune. You think like I've completed drinking iron.
Oh yeah.
But like I was just like I hit that point. I remember like smashing 2 in a row. No, I must have done like I think I was probably behind. I smashed like 3 in a row and be like, "You're 2 IBH. You're fucking 2." I was like that. Maybe even did another one. And eventually, I remember they said I was stood there with like my toothbrush. I went and like got my toothbrush and stuff and was just stood there with it. Like, they're like, "You're right, mate." And I was like, "Yeah." And then I went off clearly to be sick, right? And like came back, and then eventually just disappeared. Said I was going to bed or whatever. And it was just around the time we say this all the time now, like. You know what you are? You're this fucking cup. Like really just shit things. We just started doing it. We do it for ages. Eventually it'd be like, I think we just started doing it at that festival and it was just like, you're this fucking, you're that guy's hat. It was all things like that. If he saw someone with a silly hat. But then, so he came into my tent, which he was sharing me and was like, "Cool, you're the smell in here," or something like. And I was there. I think I'd just been sick, and I was there with like my head out the tent a little bit, going like. And I was like, "Oh, I've had a foul, Adam." I'd been sick in the outer tent.
Oh.
But like a bit of it had got in the inner tent as well, and like a bit on his mattress, I think as well. And so he grabbed it. He grabbed his stuff and was like, "I'm staying in fucking other tent, you prick."
That's awful.
Yeah, it was grim.
Well, last time I was at a festival was a long time ago, but one of my friends on the last day he needed to take a shit, and the toilets were too big. The queues for the toilets were too big, or whatever. The toilets were too big. Falling in.
Really little, yeah.
Yeah. No, the queues were really, really big, and obviously he was battered by the end of it. So, and he needed a poo. So he sort of disappeared, and I went to their tent to get some beers because they had all like Foster's or whatever amazing beers we had in the tent. I opened the tent door, and he was squatting in the tent, shitting into a Foster's box. So he'd like upended the Foster's box. But
and he carrier bag or anything, or just
no,
in the cardboard?
just shitting like purely into the Foster's box. But as he looked up, the box broke, and he just fell down and landed in his shit.
Oh.
That's terrible.
That is awful.
Yeah,
that is bad. The trick would be to use if you're not going to fall on it, at least like put a carrier bag in that box so that if it's a runny shit, it's not like, because shitting in a cardboard box only works if it's a solid one, which if it's second day of a festival, I can guarantee you it's not going to be a solid one.
Yeah. Do you know what's interesting? Gina pointed out, she was like, I don't really know any girls, which like I do not know any girls that have pissed the bed, or like she was like, I know a story of one girl that's pissed in the bed.
They just don't tell the stories.
Yeah, maybe.
You know,
but they we
live with themselves. Our faults. We accept them. They're part of who we are.
I'll say, why is that? I'll say, why do you think that is? And Jenny was like, 'cause men are fucking animals. Yeah, maybe.
No, we're more honest.
Yeah, mate. I do know one girl that I actually told this story at their wedding.
Brilliant.
Because I was the best man. Who pissed on a chair. So like sat on it like it was a toilet, right in front of the toilet as well, and just pissed. Like,
what was the setting? What, just in someone's house or
in her own house? Like pulled up like
when
one
she was
of like
pissed.
One of like was pissed. Yeah, pulled up like got up to go to the toilet.
Yeah,
and for some reason didn't go to the toilet. Just pulled up one of like the dining chairs, sat on that and pissed instead. Like right outside the toilet as well. It was like right there.
At first, I thought you meant just as like a show of
dominance.
Dominance
territory.
Just at like a dinner party.
That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Imagine doing that.
Just finish your tiramisu.
Looking everyone in the eye while you're doing it as well, one by one, just going around the room.
Okay, so moving on from piss stories. You know, I think like, when was it? It was probably, it would be months ago now.
Is that your mic again?
We were talking about Florida Man and how there's always these like crazy news stories about different crimes that have been committed in Florida, and it's always Florida man does this. Yeah. Well, it seems like they've got so many, I guess, criminals on the run for these like weird crimes in Florida that there's this news station that has begun broadcasting on Tuesday evenings Wheel of Fugitive, and we've got a 2-minute video here that I think we should watch together, and we'll splice in like little clips of it so people can get an idea for what Wheel of Fugitive is.
Okay. I like it already with just the starting image.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And this is real?
Yeah, this is real. So it goes on a bit.
And this is so they don't play a game. This is what. Oh no, it does come in. Okay, so
yeah. So first of all, it shows you all the different fugitives that are, on the wheel that week.
Great bit of bass.
Good theme song, isn't it?
It is. I really like it.
Yeah, I like it.
Solid bass. That's real bass playing. That's solid. I don't think it is.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sheriff Wayne Ivory, the Brevard County Sheriff's Office. It is time for Wheel of Fugitive. Now, sometimes I go out fishing. Sometimes I cook up justice. But every week, I spin this wheel, and we get a fugitive of the week. So we're going to do it tonight. It's Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. That's when it happens. I'm going to spin it. We're going to name one of these individuals our fugitive of the week. Here we go.
I like the disclaimers going down the bottom as well.
It's brilliant. I love it.
The suspects have since been arrested.
Who's the fugitive this week?
Okay, folks. Gerardo Chichillo. Mr. Chichillo is our fugitive of the week. He's a white male, date of birth 7/11/71. His charges are failure to appear, reference domestic battery by strangulation. He's got no bond. His last location is the Indian Harbor Beach area. Now, Mr. Chichillo, I'm going to talk to you first. A, stop committing domestic violence. We don't tolerate it.
You told him, Sheriff.
Here. So
don't
you need to get
commit
this chapter of
domestic violence.
some help. Get whatever time you got coming to you behind you. Either way, the only way that starts is to go out to the Brevard County Jail and turn yourself in. If not, our fugitive unit's coming to get you, and they're going to come hard.
They're going to get you.
Kick your door in. They're going to take you out there. So avoid all that. Go out and turn yourself in. Man up. Go out there and do the right thing.
Do you not get more time
if not,
for being on the run as well? Surely, like he's not mentioning that.
I think he said, one of his crimes was failure to appear in court.
So that's a crime, yeah. But now the additional being on the run doesn't seem to give you any more time. So like you might as well just play the game of trying to evade it, and if you don't, what he's basically saying is the penalty. Well, he's saying the penalty for that is like, don't do this because we'll kick your door down. That's the bad thing that will happen. You'll get kicked down and dragged into jail, as opposed to you'll get more time for not turning yourself in.
I'm sure maybe the judge will probably treat you more harshly if you have been on the run and so on.
Yeah,
whereas if you're like, I've done it, sorry, I'm going to try and be a better person, blah blah blah. You might get away with
a bit more music,
lesser of a sentence.
Can we use this as our new theme song?
What do you guys think? We Are the Fugitive.
I love it.
I think it's sick. It's very, very weird, isn't it? Very odd.
Very American.
It's very, very American.
Very America, yeah.
Yeah. But I enjoy it. It's
do we have I guess we have fugitives. We don't really call them fugitives in the same way. We have like wanted. Not even wanted. Man, what would you do? See it in the paper, didn't you? Like wanted. Is that what they put? Or like on social media now, not in the papers.
Yeah, I've seen like
shared, didn't you? Like
police Facebook pages and Twitter pages like
shared,
will post, say this person last seen in this area, blah blah blah.
They don't really.
And sometimes the actual criminal will comment on the post. I think I've seen that where they'll be like, "Fuck you, you ain't getting me."
That was it. Yeah, that was one they got shared about, wasn't it? Yeah. They call it. We don't really say fugitive in the same way, do we? I guess.
No.
And do we have like because America you get like bounty hunters, didn't you? Like that's a real thing where they go out and they. But it's because they have like bonds and stuff, don't they? So they collect some money out of that, don't they? Out of like the bail money somehow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that.
I don't know how it works. I don't know how that country works.
No, it's fucked up.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Whoa, especially not Florida.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah,
it feels very like 80s, doesn't it? Like Wheel of Fortune style public safety announcements.
It's very weird. Oh, you took Wheel of Fortune from it? I didn't get that. I didn't realise that, mate.
Yeah, you're so funny, aren't you? It's just like sometimes like you just blow my mind with how funny you are. But it feels very 80s, the whole thing. Like I like it, the music, the.
I want to jam to that now.
He's not a bad presenter as well.
He's not a bad presenter, yeah.
Whatever his name was.
Get him on the pod.
Have they picked him for his presenting style? Do you think the other people in no, he is the sheriff. Sorry, right?
So I guess Sheriff Wayne Ivey.
Sheriff's in like
Brevard
America,
County, Florida.
You would be like a good talker as well, wouldn't it? Because isn't it almost like a political position? In a
I
way?
guess so. Yeah, it's not just like. Be a good cop for a while. You probably need to, you get
voted in as sheriff. I feel like
rub shoulders with some people and everything.
Yeah.
I'd like to be a sheriff. Like I'd get a big moustache, big cowboy hat. I'd embrace the whole persona.
Do you have sheriffs in like New York? Is there a sheriff, or is it only like
in like southern places?
Is it?
I don't know actually.
You never hear of like the sheriff of New York, but is it because they're more referred to like the? Are they like the chief commissioner? Is it different? Is the chief commissioner different to a sheriff?
Maybe it works differently.
Maybe it is different. It probably depends
New York City Sheriff's Office.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the sheriff's different to the chief of police?
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably a bunch of different ranks. And
there's sheriffs in New York City.
Because it's done by
sheriffs.
Like, counties and districts and stuff, right? So you wouldn't be like the sheriff of New York. You'd be like the sheriff of like Lower Manhattan or something like that.
Right. I see.
I'd like to be the sheriff of like a really tiny little town.
One horse town.
Yeah. So it's just you and like a volunteer 60-year-old geezer that are the whole police service.
Yeah.
Like Fargo kind of vibes.
Yeah.
In our college, like I guess they were like not security and not like dinner ladies or dinner men.
The sheriffs.
But they called them sheriffs, but they were kind of the college version of dinner ladies. really. but they were there all day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they had walkie-talkies
and a big badge.
And they'd like
they'd spurs as well. Didn't they?
Yeah, no, but and then like they'd sort of be like they wouldn't be the ones that disciplined you per se, but they were like kind of security.
Oh, they just want to be like figures of authority, right? Like,
I guess, but that was the pure job was the sheriff, and there was like 3 or 4 of them, and I got caught with fucking weed once. I was actually cleaning out I know. Can you believe it? I was actually cleaning out the bottom of a grinder. I had these things that were called it was called a crystal catcher. So it was like a 3-tiered grinder. We went through a period in our group, like peak stoner at college, where like these were all the ones these were the best ones. Yeah, they were metal
and THC at the bottom.
Yeah, you'd grind up the shit and it would collect in the middle bit, and beneath that the THC would fall through, and you'd have this little compartment. So eventually you'd have a pile of THC. Yeah. You would smack that into a joint and get double high for that one joint. But my friend had decided he was quitting for a while or whatever, or just quitting, and I had one of these THC grinders, but my bottom compartment had like dented and broke or something through like carelessness, which is again is surprising, isn't it? Especially at that time. And my friend he'd given me his grinder, but I had a lot of THC or something in my bit, but I don't know, something like that. So I was switching the THC over, basically, is the story. But I decided to do it in like the common room for some fucking stupid reason. And I was just sitting there like scraping it out and doing it. And then one of the sheriffs came over and I just heard her go, "That don't look good, does it?" And,
watch that there, boy.
Yeah, it was.
You better not be playing with that THC.
I feel like I did tell this story once before as well, because I then told this bit where like they went and got my bag. Because they had to like then search my bag, and I'd left my bag in lesson. This was like the break between lessons or something, and they went and got, it was like a double lesson. I left it in there, so they went and got my bag, and I knew what was in it. I was like, this is gonna make me look so weird. I had this. My friend used to work at the Disney store, or other stores, and rather than like. If you had like a doll that was defective or something, you couldn't just throw it away. You'd have to tear it to bits to throw it away to make sure no one else would go in the bins and just nick them, kind of thing. So he just used to eventually, sometimes he'd nick like a Woody's hand and like give me a Woody's hand and stuff like that. And he once like, I used to just like carry him around.
Why? You could never, I can never like tell where the stories are going to go with you.
I used to like carry it around. I used to have this Woody's arm I just carry around, and like we worked out you could put like a joint between his fingers and like get his little hand to smoke a joint. Like, shit like that. But then, but that's not what they found. Right? What they found is he'd also one day he came back and he'd like got me an entire Tinkerbell, but the head was missing. So it was just the Tinkerbell's body, like decapitated Tinkerbell, and on a separate time before that, he'd given me Woody's head, and I used to carry Woody's head around in my pocket. And when he gave me the Tinkerbell, I was like, "This is amazing!" I got the Woody's head out and was like, "Pop," and it perfectly popped on there. So it made this thing that I called Woody Bell, and it was like a Tinkerbell's body with this big, with this big Woody head. And and that was in my fucking bag, wasn't it? So they're going through my bag in like the principal's office. And like going through it, getting what's in there, and then they whip out this fucking Woody Bell, and they just look at me like, what is this? I was like, that's what I just had to say. Yeah, I went, that's Woody Bell. I just said it as serious as possible. Like they went, right. I mean, really, I could have had a load of fucking drugs inside the head.
Inside the Woody Bell.
Yeah, if you've seen With Now and I, that you should do. The fucking best film ever. There's a bit in there where he goes like, this doll has voodoo qualities, man. Like they're sort of like resident drug dealer, purveyor of rare herbs and prescribed chemicals. He takes off. He has a doll with him. He gets out his bag and he takes the head off, and there's loads of drugs inside it. So I could have had drugs inside there. They were With Now.
Did they let you keep Woody Bell?
Yeah, of course. It's not a crime to own Woody Bell.
Well, it is in some states. Depends what sheriff you get.
Yeah, I got suspended. I didn't get kicked out though, which is lucky. Privilege right there. But then I was quite proud of this. They used to have these at the start of the year in like your form class. You got these like examples of like, it's basically like to learn the rules. You know, like what you can do, what you can't do. Here are some examples of things. And I was an example. The year after I left, my girlfriend at the time was in her second year. I'd met her like when she was first year, I was second year. So after I left, you then like your form class, they were split in two. So they were going through all this same sort of shit with like the new year people, and you have the second years to kind of talk you through it, whatever. And I was one of the examples. They'd made like my exact scenario, one of the examples, and they were like, but I think in the scenario they said I got fucking kicked out, which was a lie.
Did they mention Woody Bell?
They didn't mention Woody Bell. He also had in his bag.
I love it.
Yeah.
I had to be an example before. We used to, on our way to school, there was me and two other kids I used to walk to school with every day. And we used to play this game where you try and kick things in the road so it perfectly lines up with a car's wheel and they run it over. And it would just be like bottle caps. Classic, or like there was like a cherry tree or something, and we would just like kick, like it would beat up, I don't know, some kind of berry, kick berries into the road and stuff.
Kick a brick in there.
But then it would like, that's the thing, it escalated a little bit. And then one day we was walking to school, and one of the guy I was with was like, there was a 2-litre bottle of Fanta unopened, like seal still on there. He was like, oh, this would be perfect. So we're like rolling it into the road. But obviously, if you're driving a car and like a 2-litre bottle of Fanta comes out, you're just going to like slyly sort of like swerve it a little bit. So it was going like just down the middle of the car or to the left or right, and was so this guy gets bored of waiting, so he runs in the road. He stands behind. He gets the bottle. He's standing behind like a parked van. He shakes it up, and then he's like standing to the side. And he used to play rugby as well. And he like threw it like a rugby ball from like he like, popped out. Threw it like a rugby ball, went directly under the wheel of this car, made the loudest fucking explosion you could like imagine a 2-litre bottle of Fanta making. Fucking sprays everywhere. The woman in the car slams on her brakes, like skids over. So me and the other guy just run.
So it was moving at the time. You said it was. He hid behind a parked.
He hid behind a parked car. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And so it was a car going like 30, and so we just run, but he just stands there and doesn't run. She gets out of the car screaming at him, and he's like just giving her a lip, just like, yeah, fuck off. Like doesn't give a shit.
Outrageous.
She asked his name.
Days, eh?
He was honest and told her his name.
Oh, that's a
and
fail.
then he gets pulled out of lesson. Then he grasped me up. They were like, oh, who was you with? The lady said that you was walking with like some other boys. So he grasped me up. So we're like, and our school, we didn't have sheriffs, but we had an actual police officer who used to like work with the school or whatever, and he was just there every day. Like he would just pretty sweet gig, I guess. Just like
such a ghetto
walk
school.
around the school, just turn up for assembly every now and then, and like I think he was an actual police officer who would go and do real crime stuff, but he just like had a relationship with the school.
School liaison, I think they call it. Something like
that. So
he was the expert in Fanta related crime.
But he told us off. We had to like sit in isolation for the day, but then about 2 or 3 weeks later, we had a traffic safety assembly or something, and it was all about like the stopping distance of a car and why you shouldn't play in the road. And
it's pretty fucking dangerous, really.
Yeah. And then it was like, all right, we need some volunteers to be the innocent child who gets run over by the car, and they obviously like pick me at teachers like, oh, Tom, you put your hand up. Yep, you come. So I just had to basically stand there, and then they do the whole thing. If a car's going this fast, how quick do you think? How far do you think it will go if it slams on its brakes? And you have to like estimate, but you're in a hallway, so you can't really estimate well. And then they're like, "Nope, you'd be fucking dead." And just try and make an example of it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, there you go, kids.
Yeah, naughty boys.
Yeah, you're lucky, man. That could have really fucked her up to be there, couldn't it?
Yeah,
like that.
You're lucky she didn't call the sheriff.
Hey, I didn't do it. I wasn't. I was happy with just like little berries and Coke cans and stuff.
Guilty by association. if that happened in my jurisdiction, Tom, you'd be going down. You know, as sheriff of this town, I won't allow young delinquents to go around terrorising women with Fanta bottles. So vote George James as city sheriff for 2023.
All this talk of pissing, I'll be honest, I'm surprised I haven't done a fucking Paul Skin back and pissed in my waste paper basket.
Pissing that mandolin.
Yeah, I need to go and have a piss.
My camera has just died as well.
Perfect time to wrap up.
Oh, okay. I just don't get a story then. Don't worry about
have you
it.
not done one?
No, no.
You spoke about two Iranian people.
Yeah, I thought that was it. I thought that was you.
That was a little bit of extra. That was an introduction.
We'll do it on the next one. It's been an hour and
waste
9.
my story on.
Yeah, we'll do it on the next one. Hour and 10 minutes.
You get 2 stories next episode.
No.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No.
Tell us a headline.
Stories.
Tell us a headline.
No.
All right,
listeners, I'll just tell you the headline.
That was Curios Cast, episode 91. Send us a text on 07
470
18383.
Yeah.
07470 81383.
Bye.
See ya.